Morning, Joe. We have a lot to get to. On Thursday, March 3rd, we've got Mike Barnicle, Donna Deutsch still with us, along with Pulitzer Prize-winning historian John Meacham and former chairman of the Republican National Committee, Michael Steele. Joining the conversation on Capitol Hill, political reporter for The Washington Post and MSNBC political analyst Robert Costa. Joe, everybody around the set has been telling me for the past hour that it's just politics, that you get an endorsement from someone that you just don't believe in at all, that you find reprehensible, you take it, and it's just politics, that you have a front runner on the Democratic side who takes $250,000 from Wall Street and big banks, and it's just business, and an email server from our own house, and it's really just, you know, part of a process. I got to get your answer on all of that, but first, want to get your take on Hillary Clinton. That email server situation has stepped up a little bit. Her staffer has been granted immunity from the Justice Department, and according to the Washington Post, they're citing a senior law enforcement official and reporting Brian Pagliano's cooperation was secured as part of an ongoing criminal investigation. Pagliano worked on the Clinton campaign and helped set up the server in 2009 at the family home in Chappaqua and was paid as a consultant. The Justice Department declined comment, as did Pagliano's attorney. As for the Clinton campaign, a spokesman said he's pleased Pagliano is cooperating with the DOJ, noting they urged him to give evidence in September of 2015. Instead, he invoked his Fifth Amendment rights while appearing before a closed-door meeting of the Benghazi Committee. Top Senate Committee Chairman also offered him immunity at that time to testify. Joe, what's your take on this headline, first of all?
Well, it's an ominous headline, to say the least. I mean, for people that have been supporters of Hillary Clinton, for people in the press that have been trying to dismiss this for 6 months now, saying, well, it's much ado about nothing. The FBI is just interested in the process of how she set up the server, so we can make servers a bit more safe in the future. That's never been the truth. And, you know, I've had multiple sources high up in the administration that have been telling me that there are over 100 FBI agents that are on this case and been aggressively going after this case. And when this news broke last night in the Washington Post, it was very clear that you don't grant immunity because you're curious about the process of how a server is set up and how classified information is passed along. The FBI is now drilling down deeply. They want to know who had access to classified information, and if they find that people had information classified information and passed it over an unclassified email account, then they're possibly going to be charging people. You know why? Because they have to. The very fact, let's go back to the very fact that at the beginning of this, we heard that Hillary Clinton's attorney, David Kendall, was carrying around a thumb drive with classified information outside the CIA building. That's a crime. And the fact that the press has sat back and said, well, you know what, maybe it's just about process, is a double standard of mammoth proportions. Here's the rule. You talk to any intelligence officer or anybody that's high up in any intel committee, they will tell you, when you find out there's classified information outside of an agency, you do two things. The first thing you do is you go out and you seize that classified information by any means necessary. And the second thing you do is you bring it back into the agency, and then you start the investigation on who is going to be charged. For some reason, that hasn't happened here. But while politicians have been going back and forth saying, well, it matters, it doesn't matter, the FBI under James Comey have been doing their job. They've kept their heads down, and they've dug into this. I think it's very ominous. I'm not saying Hillary Clinton's going to be indicted, but certainly there are going to be a lot of staff members who thought they were doing what they needed to do for the secretary that are going to be under a great deal of duress, and I'm sure many of them are getting lawyered up this morning.
Joining us now.